While in college, his ambition to connect culturally with Latino families through language took him to the Dominican Republic, where he taught English at a bilingual school. After coming back to the United States, Joel's desire to advocate through social justice took him to Denver, Colorado. Joel began working with Spanish-speaking Latino populations in the public school system. Over the past 3 years, he has taught kindergarten in a bilingual setting, Spanish and English. He has learned the importance of relationship building and how that deeply impacts students' ability to interact with academic content. Teddy Roosevelt states, "People don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care." The ethic of care is such a pillar in determining how Joel presents content, activity he plans, and how he interacts with his students. So without further ado, Joel.
Make sure I'm on. Hi, so I kind of want to start off with a little bit just about myself. I am from a small town in Alabama. I grew up on a farm. War Eagle. This work is something that I am very highly committed to, and it partly comes from the story of my mother. And I was adopted by my mother before I was 1 year old. And just a little background about my mom. This is on her 60th birthday. Last year, I flew down. I planned this whole surprise birthday party for her. And she had no idea I was coming. And I don't know if you could see, she had been crying in this picture because I walk out of this curtain and I hadn't seen her in over a year, and she had no idea that I was coming. And so this story, the power of human connection, kind of where it drives from is from my mom. My mom grew up in the social services system her entire life. And so my mom had no idea how to really be a mother. And so she did the best she could. And so what that meant for her was showing up for me and really being there for me. And I take that work with me as I work with my students. And so that transitions me into kind of my work of what I've been doing at my school, what I did at my school last year. And the Boys Club, so a little bit about the Boys Club. The Boys Club was born out of a need to support students and really teach them how to be good role models for their friends, but also just good role models in their communities. And so, and it was born out of this quote, "People don't care about how much you know until they know about how much you care." And so, with that particular framework in mind, the boys put on ties as a symbol of being a good role model. And we would meet once a week and we would talk about what it meant to be a good role model for their classmates and for their communities. And so the ties, I brought the ties in, and the boys, one of the boys in the Boys Club, he was in my class specifically, and this particular boy, he gave me a lot of resistance, and just a lot of resistance in terms of like building a relationship with him. And I would leave work sometimes in tears, just like I can't figure out how to support this kid, of really how to get through to this kid. And so then I started reflecting, like, what does it mean to have a strong relationship with him or anybody? Any relationship that we have with our peers, with our friends, and whatever aspect we have a relationship with people that we care about, like it looks very different from one person to the next. And so for him, it was showing up for him and being there for him. And his name was Mario, and I see him in first grade now, and he is blossoming. And I know it has everything to do with, I spent large amounts of time with him, just really, really getting to know the specific things that he was interested in, and using that as a motivational tool to really change the trajectory of his life. Because it's much bigger for me if I can let them know that one person is invested in them from a very early age. Then what does that mean for their future? What does that mean when they get to middle school? What does that mean when they get to high school? What does that mean when they get out of high school and are going beyond? And so I take the Boys Club really, this particular Mario, he taught me a lot about unconditional love and really showing up for kids and never giving up on them. Never giving up on them, just framing there were months that went by. He would have a rough day, and then I would greet my kids every morning at the door. Today's a new day. You can do this. And by the end of the school year, he was thriving. He was thriving. He was a leader in the classroom, one of the biggest helpers, very, very, very compassionate. And so all of that had to do with just showing up for him and being there for him, and really planning goals with his family. I would meet with his family. We would plan a goal together about what it looked like, what success looked like for Mario. And then over a week period of time, we would celebrate that. Then it got into longer periods of time of really celebrating his successes so that he could be successful in school. And just to kind of give you a little context for this, one week we set up a goal, and he got to choose on Fridays if he had a good week of where he wanted to go to eat. And he loved McDonald's. And so this particular week, he had a good week all week. And we set up a plan of I would go with him to McDonald's and have an ice cream with him. And so that was a way that he wanted to celebrate his successes in school. And that transferred just beyond just his behavior. It transferred to his academics and really just persevering through things that were hard for him. So showing up was just a big aspect of my success with working with him, and really that power of human connection, of really, really connecting with him in a very intimate way and letting him know that I was invested in him outside of the realm of academics. And so I leave you with this today, and this is a book that I have been reading. This is not a test. And I'll read it to you. So in the end, what I found was this. When I took off my mask and invested in myself in a group of kids, the homeroom became a home for all of us. And so I leave that with you today, and just really hoping that this particular quote stands out to you in terms of like really connecting with kids, of really just being authentic and real with them and letting them know that you are there for them outside of the realm of academics. You are a human being as well, and that you are there to support them holistically. Thank you.